Hey everybody, Haitian Homie here, and of course, not a lot is happening in Overwatch and Contenders this week compared to most weeks because we are, of course, on break in between Stage 2 and Stage 3, but nonetheless, we're going to take a quick run through everything that happened between Monday, May 20th, and Sunday, May 26th. Starting on Monday, May 20th, we had a couple of kind of sad news. First of all, the Florida Mayhem dropped their entire Mayhem Academy roster. Basically, they said they don't need a Western-focused roster for a Korean-focused team. This was kind of one of those inevitable things that it makes sense. You don't need to pay people and, keep a roster going if you're not going to realistically use any of those players on your league team. There's really not a whole point in paying their salary. So even though they were doing okay, it just didn't make sense for the organization to keep them around. On the other hand, that same day, the Eternal Academy dropped its roster after failing to succeed in trials. So Eternal Academy, the feeder team for the Paris Eternal, they were one of the bottom two in European contenders. Therefore, they had to go through trials, and they did not do so well in trials. They didn't get a spot in contenders. So again, they kind of had to drop their roster because you're not going to pay a open division team. So they're just going to have to retool and come back later. Slightly better news that day. First of all, the Overwatch League International store is live. That means that if you live outside the US, now you can get your hands on some Overwatch League goods. The store doesn't have the same product offerings. It's starting off pretty small for now, but hopefully over time they'll flesh out that inventory and you'll be able to pick up some more of the American style goods. I think they do have coffee mugs though, which I'm a little jealous of. If there are coffee mugs on the American store, I must have missed that. I'd have to go back and check, but the international store has coffee mugs, and I love me some coffee, so I'm a little bit jealous. But anyway, we move on to the last bit of news from Monday, which is that Trill's visa has finally been approved. So Trill is a Australian main tank for the Dallas Fuel. He's kind of been dealing with visa issues, for the entire season. So it's definitely been a issue for him to figure out how to, get onto the team and get to America and actually play the game. So he'll finally be able to join the Dallas Fuel. Hopefully we'll get to see a little bit of him in Stage 3. You never know. I really don't think he'll be taking over the starting spot from OG, but he's finally coming over to America. Tuesday, May 21st, similar news. Jichiren, the main tank for the Chengdu Hunters, his visa has finally been approved. Now this one is interesting because, the Chengdu Hunters are a very flashy team. Of course, they're playing Ameng on a lot of Wrecking Ball, but you look at the team and you wonder, yeah, they do pretty cool things. They have a good time. Maybe they win some games, but will Jichiren make them even better contenders? Will they actually be able to make like a stage playoffs? We'll just have to wait and see, but I'm interested to see how he actually fits into the game plan, how long it takes for him to be ready to actually play, since I'm assuming scrims have been a little difficult for him, if he's even being able to play at all. So we'll have to see how that plays out, but Jichiren is finally coming over to America. May 21st, the Toronto Defiant also pulled Gods and Sharik up from the Montreal Rebellion. So they have moved from the Contenders team up to the main roster. And this is monumental because it's the first time that a all-Korean roster has gone mixed, that they've brought in Western players. So, all Western rosters have gone and added some Koreans, like the Florida Mayhem. You've got mixed teams like the Fusion, the Uprising, but there's never been an all-Korean team that has made the move to add Western players. So this is really interesting. Never been done before. We'll have to see how it plays out. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Sharik is the first Latvian player to enter the Overwatch League. So that's pretty cool as well. So props to them for making it up. And hopefully we'll get to see them in action at some point. Friday, May 24th, Overwatch League Commissioner Nate Nanzer, in a surprise move, has announced that he is leaving the Overwatch League and is heading over to Epic Games, where he'll be leading the Fortnite esports, division. So that came as a pretty big shock this week. Of course, Nate Nanzer, being the commissioner, has a big role to play in the way the league, functions. But he says that the league is in good hands moving forward, And I do believe that with a solid team behind you, you can get a lot done. So I don't think it solely rests on him, of course. I don't think him leaving will impact the league in a negative way, considering that, you kind of have a foundation that you've built, and your team can build on that, continue to build on that well after you are gone. But we'll see if he can get things taken care of over in the Fortnite division. Of course, Fortnite and its esports is a whole different story. But yeah, Nate Nanzer will no longer be working with the Overwatch League, coming soon. So yeah, that's pretty big. And the last bit of news that I found that I think you guys should know about is that the Pacific Showdown, of course, happened over in Shanghai, China this weekend. And on Saturday, May 25th, Element Mystic ended up winning the Showdown 4-2 over O2 Blast. Now, that means that the finals, even though there were 6 teams there, 2 from China, 2 from Korea, 1 from the Pacific, and 1 from Australia, of those 6 teams, the 2 Korean teams went to the finals. It's one of those, you kind of hope for an underdog story where, either the Pacific or the Australian team make it, past the first couple rounds. But at the end of the day, you knew it was going to be a show between Korea and China. And of course, Korea came out on top. Kind of expected Korea to win the whole thing. Not necessarily that they would take both of the final spots, but that's what happened. And Element Mystic has come out on top. So congratulations to them. That's going to do it for this week's news. Again, not a whole lot to talk about, but we'll be picking up soon as the league is on its way back. So I'm very excited for Stage 3, and I hope you guys are as well. Thank you all for watching, and this is the Haitian Homie signing off, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.